Hi, my name's John. A year ago, I never even heard of Fruits Basket. That is until my girlfriend introduced the anime to me.
And I'm Allie. I've been reading the manga since I was in 3rd grade.
We loved watching season 1 together so much, and we'd have all these crazy long discussions about what happened in each episode.
And for season 2, we thought it would be really fun to share our conversations with you.
So join us today as we talk about season 2, episode 10, Who Are You? So before we get started, if you're a returning listener, then welcome back. And if you're a new listener, we're glad to have you on our Fruits Basket podcast. And if you want to stay up to date with all of our Fruits Basket content, then make sure to go down and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss an episode. But with all that out of the way, where are we starting?
Alrighty, so we are starting out with our crew. And they're hanging out, looking at some fireworks, talking about how they're going to set them off tomorrow. And I have to give, right out of the gate, a huge shout out to my favorite boy, Momiji, because this absolute sweetheart, he bought all the fireworks. And that's interesting because he also planned the vacation, and he also bought the watermelons, and this boy has just been running everything. And it's so sweet. Yeah. I love him.
And I feel like it almost even adds to the fact that he has his hands in every little thing, no matter what. Mm-hmm. It's almost like Momiji's running the show for the Zodiac. Even though he's one of the younger members, he almost feels like the brains of the operation, even though he plays innocent all the time.
That's what I like to think. Mm-hmm.
I also like how it starts out just so sweet and innocently, and Yuki even says, because he mentions that they're leaving soon, and that he wants to finish with a fun memory. And it's like, well, the best laid plans. The fireworks are fun, but
yeah,
it definitely doesn't end with a fun, happy memory.
It definitely ends with a bang, though.
Oh, well, yeah, definitely.
It's a bang. But yeah, so Yuki mentions that they're leaving soon, aka the beach arc is ending. So now that it's coming to an end, and this is the last episode of the beach arc, I have to ask, how did the beach arc live up to the expectations that manga readers had laid out, very much so online?
So, I thought that the beach arc was really good, and it had a lot of really good moments throughout. The highs were definitely high, but this episode wasn't the climax that I was expecting. And so, in a way, I don't think it hit the heights that I was expecting, even though it had so many awesome character moments for Yuki, for Kyo, for even Tohru, and in this episode, Momiji. But overall, since this is essentially the end, according to Yuki, I would say I'm underwhelmed by what was happening. I think my expectations, as you can hear in my theory about what would happen this episode that I made in last episode, I thought Toru's memory was going to be wiped. I thought she would forget everyone and who they were and the Zodiac and all that stuff. And so what actually ended up happening was could have been worse.
Yeah, for sure. So you built up these lofty theories and thought the lows were going to go a lot lower, which I totally understand, because people online were like, the beach arc, oh my gosh, these huge moments. And I'm totally guilty of this too. I was like, I've been waiting 13 years for this.
Yeah.
And really I think most manga readers were waiting for Kyo's confession, because that was such a big moment and it really hurt.
Yes.
It hits you so hard. And I think that was your favorite episode, right?
Yes. Last episode was definitely, I would say that was the most impactful episode. And so coming off of that episode, I thought that this one would skyrocket even higher. And it was just oh, okay.
So overall, beach arc is good?
Solid good.
Good?
Solid good.
Better than season 1?
No.
Okay.
Season 1's better.
Okay. So we have our tier list here.
So far, I like season 1 better.
Okay. Alrighty, manga readers. There's your anime-only opinion on the beach arc. But after that little bit, Mogata, our boy.
Love Mogata. They just need to make a Mogata show. Just one. Like a one-off. I want to watch this Mogata movie.
Mogata!
I just want to know. Because they were saying it's got romance, it's got drama, it's got action and comedy. It's a hodgepodge.
It's a mystery.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Tohru wants to go let Momiji know that Mogata is coming on. And on her way, she's thinking about how Yuki and Kyo have changed. And they have changed a good bit. But she also wonders if she has changed. Have you seen some change in our girl Tohru?
So, I don't think that she's changed as profoundly as Kyo and Yuki, but I do think that there definitely has been a little bit of change in her. And I'm not sure if it's for the better or for the worse. I almost feel like her guard is breaking down, and that's the change that's kind of occurring in her. The facade is kind of dropping slowly but steadily. And so that's the primary change that I see in Tohru. And so it's positive, but she won't be able to keep that happy-go-lucky smile that we saw all throughout season 1, like, continuously. I think that we're going to see that drop more and more as time goes on.
Good theories, good theories. Okay, so then she starts to eavesdrop a little bit, and she hears Kyo and Momiji chatting. So I don't know what notes you have on this moment, but something that I wrote down is when Momiji says, "I'm selfish for loving Tohru so much," and then Kyo just has, like, the most, it's, like, endearing but also pained expression.
Because he's like, I'm selfish too.
Yeah, and it hurts.
Because he loves her too. He won't say that out loud like Momiji did, but he's like, I love her too, but I'm going to be locked up forever, so I can't. And so, that moment was so sad. And I know we talked about this a little bit earlier, but I feel like this really represents how Momiji just knows a little bit about, like, everything and everyone. And so when he asks Kyo, oh, are you going back to Akito's? Did you get invited back to go see Akito tomorrow? And Kyo says, no, I didn't. And I think Momiji essentially says, are you happy about that? And Kyo essentially says that he's chill with it. I thought that was such a good moment because it shows how Momiji's prying into Kyo's head to figure out, okay, where's he at in terms of this whole Akito thing? Because I know where I'm at, because we see later in the episode that Momiji's the only one who defies Akito. And so he's trying to find out, is there anyone else who's with me in defying Akito? Is kind of how I read that situation.
Okay.
Always trying to see where everyone's at. And I thought that was a cool little moment.
Yeah, maybe Momiji's this master schemer.
Yeah. Even more of a schemer than Shigure.
Oh, yeah. But another cute little thing that I just have to point out is that Kyo had mentioned that he understands why everyone was going to Akito, because in the previous episode, he had mentioned that he was so upset that everyone was leaving her alone, just like they had with New Year's. And he didn't want her to be all left alone. And now he understands that really they were just protecting her from Akito's wrath. So I'm proud of the character growth in my boy Kyo.
Yeah, and Momiji's even like, I'm not sure if that was even the right thing. I don't know. This moment was just really cute, and it gives Tohru a lot of context to everything. This episode gives her so much context to everything going on around her that she just had no idea about.
Oh yeah, she was really out of the loop with a lot of this. And it makes sense because she's been living with the family for, what, like a year now? It hasn't really been that long.
And they don't really bring up Akito that much around her.
Yeah, they don't really talk about the curse either. I mean, she didn't even know anything about Kyo's parents until recently, so she's getting a lot of insight during this beach arc. But then we cut over to Shigure and Akito, and they're having a little weird chat. And a question I must ask you. We get some weird looks between Shigure and Kureno, and he kind of like mentions Kureno and starts asking Akito about him. So, do you think there's any animosity there? Are they friends? What's going on with Kureno?
I don't know, because even Akito, I think, said that Kureno was kind of off lately.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe that was Shigure. But I don't know the relationship between Kureno and Shigure, but I do think that Kureno's head's not in it in terms of working for Akito anymore. And I think that that is largely the fault of our girl, Uotani.
Love her.
Yeah. I think that she is so profoundly stuck in that boy's head. And I think that the look between Shigure and Kureno, I guess, is Shigure knows that look of thinking about someone that you love, because that's Shigure's greatest desire. I've mentioned this before, he's a romance novelist. He knows that little tick. So if he's seeing that in Kureno, that might be a new chess piece in his game against Akito, and one that he probably didn't expect. And so Akito picking up that, oh, you're not as nice to me as you were before. Akito, I feel like, is just a walking id. Like, so in psychology, the id is essentially the pleasure center. And so I think that Akito is just always looking to have his pleasures, like, fulfilled, his desires, like, sated. He doesn't have that moral compass. He doesn't have that conscience. And so he's very perceptive of when something is not inherently sating his desires. And Shigure isn't 100% anymore. He plays the game, but it's not genuine. And so I think Akito's starting to pick up on that.
Ooh, okay.
Like, Shigure's mind is elsewhere right now because he's seeing Kureno's distracted nature.
That's a good theory. I like that one. That's something to gnaw on. Okay. Going back to when you had mentioned that Akito had pointed out that Shigure wasn't as invested anymore. He wasn't being as nice. They show like a little flashback scene, and it is who we can presume to be Shigure handing Akito a flower. And that flower symbolizes some time with Allie, because I love flowers. I immediately recognize that one. Yeah. I immediately recognize that one as a camellia. And that flower is very different in America. We associate it with like Southern beauty here. It's a lot of state flowers. It's
very Akito. Southern beauty, very Akito.
Our Southern Belle.
yeah. Our Southern Belle Akito.
Imagine. But in Japan, it means something entirely different. And over there, it symbolizes the divine. So it's used in religious and sacred ceremonies. It symbolizes things like faithfulness, longevity, and perfection. Which, what foreshadowing.
Yeah.
Really defines Akito very well, which explains why it is brought up again later in the episode. But
where Akito's literally shown surrounded by them.
Oh yeah. So camellias are big. We're learning about all of the flowers in Fruits Basket with Allie. Thank you for joining us.
Yes.
But that was that little scene.
And and then after that happens, they bring up Ren again.
Mm-hmm.
Which who is Ren?
Who's Ren? That's the question of the day.
Because if I'm remembering correctly, they said that Ren is getting rowdy and thinking that they are the head of the estate while Akito's gone.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have to wonder, I feel like this is about to get political as well. My rationale for that being, so Akito stays locked away in his chambers so often, right?
Yeah.
So I don't think he's actually leading the family all that much. So what if Ren is like the figurehead of the rest of the family? Or at least they look to Ren for actual leadership, whereas Akito is like the head of the family and all that, but is so hyper-focused on only the Zodiac that he doesn't actually do any, like, leading, if that makes sense. I don't know how, like, family structures work.
Okay. So do you think Ren is just some rando in the family that everyone
No,
likes?
no. I think Ren is heavily related to Akito.
Okay.
Whether it's a sibling, I don't know if Akito like again, I don't know if Akito like killed his parents. Akito's gotta have parents. I don't think that Akito just like popped into existence. So maybe Akito has a sibling, and that's Ren. And Ren, I don't think has inherent association to the zodiac, but it might be like a yin and yang kind of deal.
Maybe.
So Akito's gone. Ren saw an opening and kind of tried to take over.
Maybe. But then we hit the climax of this episode. Akito starts throwing his little fit. He's real upset about Ren, and then he's upset about Tohru, and then he's like, you know what? I should go pay Tohru a visit.
Which when Akito was muttering like that woman, I couldn't tell if he was talking about Ren or Tohru in that moment.
Who knows? Who do you think? Who are you leaning towards?
I think it's Ren, and Toru's an easy outlet of his anger.
Okay, interesting. All right, keep working on that one. I'm not saying you're right or wrong. I'm not saying you're right or wrong. I want you to keep working on that one. I feel like there are hints in previous episodes that could lead you to an answer, and maybe we have some rewatching to do. But maybe we don't, because I don't want you to get too far ahead. But anyways, okay.
Well, that leads me to believe it's Toru then.
I'm not telling you anything. Okay. So Akito shows up, and Momiji is the first person to notice, unfortunately, which means that he's going to get the brunt of Akito's anger. And it just hurts.
But Momiji, again, we're talking about Momiji a lot, but it's because he's such a rock star in this moment. Because when Akito asks Momiji to go get Toru, Momiji's like, no, I'm not doing that. You're angry, and I don't want to put Toru through that, essentially, right now. Mm-hmm. So he just outright blocks the door and says no. And that causes Akito to wail on his face, but that doesn't break him. Anyone else in that family, they would have just been like, I'm sorry, I'll go get her. But Momiji stood firm.
Does Akito like Momiji?
Akito does not like Momiji at all.
Has this perhaps already been brought up before?
Yes, yeah, I think it was like when they were walking to Akito's house. Mm-hmm. Akito does not like Momiji at all. Because Momiji is the only one who just doesn't care about Akito's manipulation. That being said, I think Momiji also genuinely cares about Akito and wants... Because he was asking him, like, what's wrong? Essentially, right?
Yeah.
And so I think Momiji wants to help Akito, and that makes Akito so mad.
Okay. But, okay, so Momiji tries to turn away Akito, gets punched in the face. I'm very happy that blood was included because I was scared they were going to cut that out for whatever reason. That was in the manga. Most people didn't notice it. Anyways.
Yeah.
I did. I wanted it in. Sorry, Momiji. But then Tohru shows up, and this is where things start to really go downhill.
Yes.
So Tohru is learning about Kyo and everybody else, and that Kyo is going to get locked up, and the poor girl, the look on her face.
Mm-hmm.
It hurts.
So, going back to almost like the psychology, I guess, of Akito. Mm-hmm. Akito's brain is like, I think he's developmentally stunted or something. Something is wrong because Akito literally has the mentality of a spoiled child who has never been told no, which, like, God, so that kind of makes sense. But everything is so polar with Akito. Just name-calling and like black and white, good and bad. There's no gray in Akito's mind. Like me versus you. I want all my friends to live in my house with me and not be anywhere else. It's very childish. And so I feel like because Akito is stuck for whatever reason in that childlike mindset, that almost adds an extra layer of defensiveness to him and anger, because he sees the maturity in the growth of everyone else and he doesn't understand at all, and that makes him lash out.
Maybe. I like where you're going. I'm so happy you're adding psychology into this.
Yeah, I don't know. It feels like, yeah, he's still stuck at like the mental age of like a 6-year-old or a 5-year-old. Very immature in everything he does.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Anything else that you want to point out about this scene before I go on some rant?
I just thought that it was really cool that Tohru knows about everything now. Tohru knows that Akito's not the rooster. Tohru knows that Akito is God, which big pats on the back for John for figuring that one out. I was so stoked because I was like I was pretty positive that I'd figured that one out, but I was just like, yes, they said it. They said it. They even showed the picture with all the zodiac around him and him standing in the middle, just like the picture in the first episode. I was just like, boom, got it. On the nose, not the rooster. Like, perfect. So I was really stoked about that. But I also like how Tohru knows that Kyo's meant to be imprisoned now. And Akito's deal with Kyo is totally... He's already decided it's a foregone conclusion that Kyo is going to be locked up and he will never beat Yuki. And so, I don't know, I thought there was a lot to that scene, and I thought it was really cool. And how she even questions him, saying, is that true happiness to be confined to the Soma estate?
Yes.
Which Akito's like, it is for me, essentially.
Well, yeah, and more specifically, Akito starts to point out that she couldn't possibly understand the Somas and the bond that these Zodiac members have.
Mm-hmm.
And what truly the curse is, because Akito doesn't view it as a curse. Akito says that it's a blessing and that she should stop meddling or else she's going to get punished for ruining their good time, because they're all going to be together and it's going to be great. It's going to be an eternal banquet. So, question for you. What do you think the curse is and how does it work? I know it's a heavy question, but I have to ask because we're at this point in the anime.
And so I think that the curse is that over time, the members of the Zodiac lose their individuality.
Okay.
So they all have very distinctive personalities right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Very defining traits. And so what if the curse, and this could be 100% off, it probably is, but what if the curse is that over time, they do all fall in line with Akito, and they lose all of their individuality, and they do just sit happily or whatever in the Soma estate until they die, and the cycle just begins again. It's just this cycle of pain that keeps going on and on and on until they can eventually break that, and they don't just go back to the Soma estate and don't just give in and relinquish their individuality and essentially their humanity. I don't think that they'll all like turn into animals and become Akito's little pets, but I think that they might, in essence, just live there as just Akito's underlings, if that makes sense.
Yeah, good theories. Okay, I know that was a tough one.
Was a really... I just kind of pulled that out. I don't know. That's so hard. I have no idea.
I do not expect any anime only to have any type of answer right now. It's just something to think about.
Yeah.
Okay. So, then Akito leaves with Kureno. Tohru knows who Kureno is now. So if Utani wants to cough up that name of the guy she met at the convenience store anytime soon, that would be really nice.
Yeah.
Toru's got some
like,
info.
Tohru, you just met Urotani's boo.
But yeah, so then Shigure and Hattori show up, and we get the most heartbreaking scene of poor Momiji, just so heartbroken that he couldn't help more. And I cry every time. That's what I was looking forward to most. Yeah, he did his best. He tried. When I said that I was looking forward to the beach arc, I was looking forward to exactly this scene of Momiji crying and Tohru hugging him. So, just so you know, what I was looking forward to this entire time, that was it. I like when they're in pain, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. But I also like how just after that, the whole theme of this episode is protecting.
Yes.
Whether it's Tohru protecting the Somas protecting Tohru, or even Akito protecting himself. Everyone is protecting something. Yeah.
And speaking of protection, I have to correct something that the translation totally messed up for whatever reason. So when Yuki, Kyo, and Haru are all talking, Kyo says, "I'm so pathetic, I disgust myself." I'm reading straight from the Tokyo Pop original translation of the manga, by the way, just so you guys know. And Yuki says, "Even so, he sometimes thinks that he's pathetic after all." So Yuki's supposed to be talking about Kyo, thinking that he's pathetic, but in the translation, in the anime, he says she sometimes thinks that she's pathetic, and that is not at all. He's not talking about Tohru, he's talking about Kyo. I have to fix that.
That makes so much more sense.
Yeah, because Tohru just got manhandled by Akito. Why would he be like, Tohru thinks that she's pathetic? No, Kyo just said that he thinks he's pathetic.
That makes, especially since Kyo just said, okay, that makes, I was so, like, what?
Yeah, it's really confusing. They did a mistranslation, which I get. We're kind of in some really unprecedented times right now. I understand, but just an explanation there.
I liked seeing how, even though we've seen Yuki and Kyo grow so much throughout this, they were still hiding as Tohru was getting hurt. Although I don't know if Kyo was intentionally hiding, because Haru was holding him back.
Yeah.
So, that being said, he could have broken free. Haru wasn't Dark Haru there. So I don't think he was fighting that much. So that still shows all of their intense fear of Akito. Sans Momiji. So I thought that was a really interesting moment, because there's still a long way to go to break their fear of Akito.
Yeah. And so next little bit, after we leave all of the Tohru Akito sadness, did you have anything to add on that, by the way?
No.
Okay. So let's just get into fireworks. We're ending with a bang. So our crew, they're getting ready to set off some fireworks, and it's just so heartbreaking every single time someone's doing something that should be kind of fun. Kyo always says, "Is that fun?" Like, pancakes, are those good? Playing with the sand, is that fun? And then now, like, fireworks, is that fun to do? And it just hurts me. Like, as a child, that he didn't get to experience everything to the fullest extent.
But, like, Kyo did.
He did with Kazuma, 100%. But he still just, like, doesn't get it the same way that the other people do.
Also, I loved how, that is super sad, but I loved how he asked about her mom.
Yes.
Because I think this all really told him that she's probably not going to mention her mom as much, even still. And so now he's actively asking about her mom, even though we know that he saw her mom die. Well, I guess that's not 100% confirmed, but, like, it's essentially confirmed because he remembered her dead corpse. So, I don't know. I think that's so nice because he had a relationship with her mom, and so he probably knows if they like lit fireworks. And so that's why he asked.
Maybe. Oh,
Which,
I'm so happy you noticed this.
and so and then Tohru thinking about how his shisho didn't show him fireworks just for him to be confined. And how Yuki doesn't seem to want to live at the estate for it. Like, I think that her having this almost realization and understanding that she should try and break the curse and that she wants to change something and help them is so big. And this was even she even was saying this at the beginning of the episode while they were talking about Mogida. She says that she wants to change something. And, well, here it is. She found it by the end of the episode. She's gonna break the curse somehow. I don't know what that looks like. Probably helping them to be completely broken off from Akito and not being afraid to break themselves off from God in some way. In that empowering process, which probably won't be as easy as it sounds. But, I don't know. I really enjoyed that.
Okay, last little question for you. What's with Yuki offering his seat to Kyo?
He doesn't hate him anymore, even though it was such a nice little gesture. And this, in my mind, 1000% proves that Yuki does not have romantic interest in Tohru at all, because I am positive that he knows that Kyo does, and that's why he offered him his seat with that smug little grin as he's pointing at Tohru. I think that that's almost like their weird, underhanded, like, yo, I'm a guy, so I don't have feelings, so I'll make fun of you too. Kind of like olive branch.
Okay.
Because they've hated each other for so long. And so he's not just going to be nice to him. Because, like, that's not cool. That's not Yuki. That's not their relationship. And so when Kyo said no, he even had like a, dude, come on, kind of look on his face. Like, just come over here, sit next to Tohru, and light off some fireworks. And I think that Yuki's putting the pieces together that dynamic might be good to help foster that dynamic.
Okay, maybe.
I don't know why he would think that at this point, because I don't think that he's necessarily like, Tohru will break the curse. But I do think that he sees how genuine that is and is open to helping foster that because it makes Tohru so happy.
Aw, that'd be cute.
And he wants Tohru's happiness.
I'm emotional. Okay, so with that, do you have anything else, any other comments about the episode before we talk about that next episode preview?
I think that's all I've got.
Cool. So, the next episode, episode 11, is All Mine, which Kagura is saying. Have any predictions about that one?
I think that it's intended for us to think she's talking about Kyo. And I think she is. But I also think it's her coming to the realization that he is not all hers, and nor should he be. I think that this is going to be when we see her say, I fabricated these like massive feelings for Kyo, and I don't genuinely feel love like that. I just want to make your life better and easier and for you to be loved.
Okay. Ooh. I'm very excited for the next episode. So I'm happy you're thinking about this.
Yeah. So that's kind of the best I've got there, because I don't think that I think she wants to protect the boy, and because we've seen everyone protecting everyone. We didn't talk about Rin. I think that Rin was protecting Haru this whole time, just watching over him, just from a distance.
Mm-hmm. Maybe.
But that'll do it for today's video, guys. So we want to hear your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you're an anime-only watcher like me, do you agree with my theories? Do you disagree? I'd love to hear your thoughts as anime-onlys. If you're a manga reader, if you have any questions for me or comments for Allie, then make sure to leave those down in the comment section down below too. And while you're down there, why not liking this video, why not subscribing to our channel, and why not even ringing that notification bell so you never miss another upload? And why not even following us on Twitter? That's the best way to engage with us. That is not in the comment section, and we love talking to everyone on Twitter. So our Twitter handles are in the description down below as well. But with all that out of the way, I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, a fantastic rest of your week, and why not even a fantastic rest of your month, and we will see you in the next video. Later.
Bye.